Good morning, New York aficionados. Look at where we are. Broadway and 71st Street. We are in the heart of the Upper East Side. Let's go for a walk together. Well, right now in the background what you see is the 72nd Street subway station, and on the left at the top the beautiful Ansonia building, home to people the like of Cole Porter and Ella Fitzgerald, which also became the first big swingers club in New York in the 1970s, when the Times Square area was mostly the temple of vice. Okay, now let's cross the street, let's get on Broadway. I want to alternate today between walk and talk. Let's see if you like it. Temperature today, it's below freezing point. It's the 22nd of January 2024. The temperature being below freezing point just led me into thinking it was better if I took my DJI Osmo Pocket 2 camera rather than my professional one. But as soon as the weather gets better, I'm looking forward to starting filming again using that camera. Okay, here you go. You can see it. You can see the Ansonia building right behind the subway station. There we go. Okay, let's why not? Okay, let's keep walking. Broadway, the only street that crosses the whole of Manhattan, going all the way from the bottom to the top of Manhattan, still running along the Bronx. When it leaves the city, it simply changes name. It becomes Interstate 9, and if you keep driving or walking along Broadway, you will end up in Montreal, Canada. That's the reason I always say, if you run into a Canadian who looks lost, put the Canadian on Broadway and say, keep walking. You're gonna be home soon. And here's the Ansonia. Now let's walk around this very beautiful old subway station. I love wide angle lenses. Okay, and then let's keep walking. Film aficionados will remember this space being Verde Plus. That's where Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan have lunch before she goes to meet, her anonymous friend. And the movie is, of course, You Got Mail. But let's take a look at the Ansonia. Look at how gorgeous this building is. Okay. I moved it the wrong way. Yeah, sure. Okay, come on. There we go. Here's the Ansonia. Okay. A beautiful, beautiful jewel of fine architecture. And let's keep walking on Broadway. Okay, sooner or later I will learn how to do this. Okay, bear with me, friends. There we go. Broadway, in the southernmost part of Manhattan, is still the old street. That the reason why Broadway is not a straight line, but it goes on the side, is because the Dutch, when they came to New Amsterdam, which would later have become New York, well, the Dutch, drew the streets using a compass. So they were pointing towards the true north. Again, look at the Ansonia. My God, how gorgeous this building is. Oh boy, can you imagine how great it would be living here? Okay, let's keep walking. Again, on Broadway. Then Broadway, around 42nd Street, is actually the junction of the old Broadway with another street that used to be called Bloomingdale's Road. And later, Bloomingdale's Road, was dropped as a name, and it all became Broadway. Well, the origin of Broadway as a name is pretty interesting. It's substantially a corruption from a Dutch word. Okay, again. On the northernmost part of Fort Amsterdam, built at the very lowest point of Manhattan, there was a huge space, and this huge space was called in Dutch, the Dutch friends will forgive me, Den Broodweg. And since the British could not really remember the sound, in times Den Broodweg simply became Broadway. Well, easy, isn't it? Okay, then we're looking at the Beacon Theatre, a temple of great music. That's where I always see Bob Dylan in concert. You know, in recent years, whenever he comes to New York, he always has a residence at the Beacon Theatre. Last year, actually, I missed him. He had a residence at the King's Theatre in Brooklyn, which is quite unusual. And then, of course, another day here at the Beacon. I'm looking forward to seeing Jerry Seinfeld performing at the Beacon again. And the interesting thing, if you notice, is that the Beacon is actually, in a building. Look at this. Look at that. What's going on here? Okay. Might have made a mess out of this. Okay. Let's go. Okay. I promise I won't move it again, okay? Let's keep walking. There we go. Here's a will call and a ticket office of the Beacon Theatre. Let's keep walking. Hotel Beacon. Wide-angle lenses are driving me insane. How do you like Starbucks? I have to say, yeah, it's good, but it's not my favorite coffee. I prefer Pret a Manger to Starbucks. Yeah, of course, Italians are out of this discussion. For Italians, there is no other coffee than espresso. So, Italians, please don't answer this question. Look how beautiful Broadway is around here, This part of Broadway in the Upper West Side is really gorgeous. I prefer it to the Broadway, you can find downtown. There we go. Still the Ansonia. I mean, it's so immense. 72nd and 73rd Street, so many great buildings. On Central Park West, we got the Dakota, the Langham, the San Remo, and before the Dakota on 71st Street, the Majestic. Then here on 73rd Street and Broadway, we got the Ansonia. And right there between 78th and 79th, we got the other one. If I'm not mistaken, the name is the... can't remember. I don't want to say something incorrect. So, we're gonna say it. Don't worry. We're gonna cross the street right now. We are on West 76th Street. Okay. We're gonna walk a little bit today. We're gonna end at least at the American Museum of Natural History. Then, if we still have some more time, we will walk a little bit in the park. I don't know. I don't know if we will have time or so, but if there is another area you would like to discover, or you would like to know more about, Manhattan or New York in general, just let me know. I'm always happy, to discover new things and to tell you about this. I'm a tour guide. I'm a licensed tour guide, so I know a few things. And if you're not new to this channel, that I love to talk about things and do my best to also shoot things in a documentary way. This is the best time of the year to do that. I have less tours, so I have more time to work on this, and it's something that I really like to do. I moved here to this city 7 years ago, substantially because I love this city, and I would say I'm on a mission to make people discover the city and go beyond what are the tourist places, tell you to avoid tourist traps, and also help you discover, beautiful hidden gems, which I can do by shooting videos, or if you want to, you can contact me for a private tour. I speak English, Italian, Portuguese, and a little bit of Spanish. So, we have no language barrier around here. Okay. Look at this place. Okay, as usual. Wrong move. Look at this building. This looks like, just like a big classic building. But the point is that this was built in the early 21st century. It's a very luxury building. I noticed there were apartments for sale for about $10 million recently, and very interesting, don't you think? Okay, that is good. We can carry on. 78th and 79th Street, as promised. There's always happy people in New York, always singing. Okay. Well, you see me cross the street even on a red light. I live here, so I know what dangers are. But if you're a tourist or something, just spend a few more seconds on the street. In other words, avoid jaywalking. Let me see if I can get it to the right direction. Yes! Woo! Marvelous. I'm learning. Okay, let's go. There we go. Looks like a good horizon. Why do I prefer to use, cameras, like professional cameras or something? It's because you have a much more, direct control on important things such as aperture, shutter speed, shutter angle, ISO, and something. The DJI is outstanding. The DJI 2, the DJI 3 is marvelous. I personally don't have it, but I've seen it. Look at this beautiful corner. And I was talking about the DJI 3. Yes, great camera, and but still, I'm very much a big fan of my, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro, which is a pain in the butt, sometimes, because it doesn't have a stabilizer. So to be used like this, you will need a gimbal, and it's a pretty expensive camera. But on the other side, shooting with that takes more time, but you can have much more direct control on that. I could set on the aperture, choose different types of lenses. It's got 3 ND filters inside. I can play on the ISO levels. Well, I hope someday I can get a gimbal and balance it, and I will shoot a video on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro just like this, and you will see the differences. For now, let's use this because I really love it. Okay. Let's check here. Okay. Look at this building right here, the Lucerne. Isn't it fantastic? Beautiful car. Oh my God! Is it possible that I'm so dumb in using, these controls? Wide lenses. That's all it takes. Okay. Amsterdam Avenue. So now we got Amsterdam Avenue, Columbus Avenue, and then we will be on Central Park West. As we get to Central Park West, we will see the New York Historical Society, the American Museum of Natural History, and then hit the park. We're also very close to West 81st Street. Do you remember 129 West 81st Street, meaning between Columbus and Amsterdam? That's Jerry Seinfeld's apartment in a famous sitcom, which for me remains the best sitcom in the history of the American television. Probably not only American television. I'm reading a book about Seinfeld. It's called Seinfeldia. How a show about nothing changed everything. Boy, if you really think that almost 30 years after the last episode has been aired, there are networks like Hulu and Netflix who are fighting to get the rights for Seinfeld. I saw a couple of episodes last night. The Jacket and the Boss Boy. Actually 3. The Jacket, the Busboy, and the one at the Chinese restaurant. Boy, they're hilarious. They are hilarious. For those who haven't seen Seinfeld yet, just think about this. For me, there is absolutely no other comedy that faithfully portrays the New York spirit, if not Seinfeld. Yep. Marvelous. Jerry Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Michael Richard, and Jason Alexander. Written mostly by Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. Oh my God. The show that changed everything. Think about this. The finale, broadcasted in 2 episodes, was watched by 280 million people. 280 million people, watching TV to see a 2-part last episode of a legendary sitcom. This should explain it all. And by the way, in real life, Seinfeld actually lives close by. Do New Yorkers know where Seinfeld lives? Of course. New Yorkers know where everybody lives. They simply don't care. They leave these people alone. That's the reason why John Lennon loved living in New York. He said, well, I may run into people, they may say hi, they may ask how I'm doing, they say they heard the record that was great, but they're not really, asking that much of my time. That's why he loved living here. So much that he didn't even have an escort. And we know what it led to. West 79th Street. Isn't it marvelous? Look at that. I hope you can see the airplane, the trails, and the water tank. Okay. This thing has got a very small display, so I can see that much. Besides, I'm getting old, so I need glasses. Oh my God. I need glasses almost all the time. And here we are at the park. The New York Historical Society is exactly on the other side of the park. Okay, let me see if it goes where I want it to go. Yes, it does. Look at that. That's the other side of the park. And in the background you can see the Beresford, 1929, one of the beautiful, beautiful old-style buildings in New York. Now, let's keep walking. Okay, there we go. Well, I hope the audio quality is good. I really didn't think about bringing a microphone. You know, that's the way it is. I saw that it was a good day. I say, why not going out and film? When I used the other camera I was telling you about, I'm always, obsessed with the gear. Wireless microphone, jacks, spare batteries, because those are great cameras, but my gosh, the battery dries in a little bit if you use it at full resolution 6K. If you film continuously, it may last about half an hour. So you have to be very, very selective. Either you bring 5 or 6 batteries, or you're gonna be very selective. But then again, you know what? I really love editing, and as much as I can, color grading. I find it to be very creative. I would like to come out with a series of videos even about, street photography in Manhattan and in New York in general. Besides being a tour guide, I would like to define myself as semi-professional photographer. And I love shooting videos. So if you're interested in any of these topics, just let me know. I love sharing my passion. I'm not one of these 2 million followers YouTubers or something, but I know the city. I know nice places. I know some great places where to take pictures. I know the laws about taking pictures in New York. So it could be interesting. So I'm still, working to find a way to give this channel specific direction. Sometimes I run out of inspiration. Some other times I'm inspired by a lot of things. Sometimes I spend a lot of time in front of my camera and I talk and I talk and I talk. And I realize the interesting thing is this. If I do some sort of talking videos, in English the average time of people listening is about 2.5 minutes. If I do the same video in Italian, it's 7 minutes. Okay, Italians talk more than Americans, or they like people who talk more, let's put it this way. Here it is, the American Museum of Natural History, which is, one of the fabulous museums of New York. You remember the movie starring Ben Stiller? Okay, there we go. Theodore Roosevelt's biggest creature. And talking about Jerry Seinfeld, I remember Jerry Seinfeld in an episode in Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with President Barack Obama. And Obama told him about Theodore Roosevelt. When he was in office, he spent 1 month in Yellowstone. No one knew where he actually was. Can you imagine it today? The President of the United States taking a 1 month holiday and literally disappearing. Oh my gosh, those were other days. It's so great, to live in a neighborhood like this. I actually live 10 minutes walking from here. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, you must be walking every single day to Central Park, gonna run here. You know what? No. That's what it generally happens, when you live somewhere where you can see that place that everyone wants to see on a daily basis. You can actually see it on a daily basis, and you never go there. You have no idea how many New Yorkers were born and grew up here and never have been to see the Statue of Liberty or Ellis Island. Well, somehow I bring the average to a good level, having done how many tours as of today at the Statue of Liberty? 1,241. Whoa, not bad. There's a video I shot with Sarah Funk in October 2021, and on that video I had taken actually 978 tours. October 2021, January 2024, from 978 to 1,241. Boy. Well, it accounts for an interesting part of my income, don't you think? And here it is, Central Park. Now we gotta cross the street to our right, because I want to show you New York Historical Society. Look who's here. The man who preserved the Union. Is it a life size? Yeah, somehow it looks like it. Hello, Mr. President? Okay. He was a very tall man. Way above 6 feet. If you know how tall President Lincoln was, please write it down in the comments. I actually can't remember. One of the things when you move from a country that's using metric measures to another one using imperials is how quickly you can come out with conversion. Celsius and Fahrenheit is not a big deal for me. Not a big deal at all. But, it gets a little more complicated when the temperature drops below 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. But whenever it is above that level, I can easily calculate it. When it gets a little, beyond that point, it's a little more complicated. But I know for sure that there is a temperature that is the same on both scales, which is minus 40. When you get minus 40, either be minus 40 Fahrenheit or minus 40 Celsius, it is exactly the same temperature. Ooh. Better not to be anywhere where the temperature is that cold. But anyway, here it is. That's the Museum of Natural History, Central Park. And a museum. Here we go. And of course, in New York, you can't miss the food truck. There we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, let's see. Let's turn it right here. Why not? This is a good idea, don't you think? Okay. And there we go. Again. I gotta be a little careful. Okay. And zoom. Wide lenses. Whoa. There we go. Let me see. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's good. I'm sorry, I'll go a little bit in a shadow because I need to see. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, let's go on. I should say, rather than, subscribe. Oh, actually, subscribe to my channel. Put a like. Help me reach, the number of subscribers and hours necessary to get to the paying program. And I promise I will get the gimbal and I will use other types of cameras and lenses. Okay, just kidding, friends. Knowing me, I guess that I will do that sooner or later. Okay, here we go. Again, the Beresford. Let's go on. Moncler, shades, gloves. Were they Italians? Maybe. All right. Okay. Here we go. Oh my God, I love the Beresford. I love the Beresford. Okay, let me show you again. No, really? Oh gosh. This will become the wrong direction video, Every time I try to tilt the camera, it always ended in the wrong place. Okay, so let's get it right there. Okay, marvelous. Let's do that. So we've seen a lot of beautiful, beautiful buildings today. We've seen the Ansonia. We've seen that one on West End Avenue between 78th and 79th and the Beresford, along with, walking some of the most beautiful parts of the Upper West Side. I would say that, okay, let's cross. Let's get to the park and let's see if, we can get to the park. And shall we wrap it up? Shall we keep walking, or shall I keep walking and just take the taping for our next video? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, let's get inside a park. Okay? That we can easily do. Hopefully the voice was good. I'll work on that. Oh boy, there is absolutely no light here. So, let's see. Okay, that's green now. All right. Let's get to the park. Let's take a look at the snow and then let's call it off. Okay? Ready? That's still around Central Park. And of course, whenever you decide to tell people, always get in front of your camera. Thanks for watching, friends. See you next time.